This place is called Ormond G. Spencer Park. It's a small memorial park in downtown Syracuse, New York. There isn't much here other than a playground and 2 tennis courts. That is, until recently, when skateboarders decided to use one of the tennis courts as a makeshift skate park. They started putting ramps and rails and boxes and other obstacles in there to skate on. For most people, especially those that skateboard themselves, skateboarding is more than just a sport. It's a form of expression. It's art on wheels. It is an extremely creative and stylistic use of energy. This particular tennis court was a great place to skate for all the local skateboarders, but they got hassled quite a bit and were asked to leave multiple times by police. Brandon Gomez is one of the people that was kicked out.
There's 2 tennis courts there, both of them pretty much unused. So what happened was some guys started putting some different obstacles down there to skateboard on. There's like a rail and there was a ledge at first. And once the word got out, it started getting a little more popular. It started getting some notice from the community, and it wasn't all positive. Some people weren't very happy with it, and some people started calling the cops. So eventually we got a meeting with the Parks and Rec Commissioner for Syracuse, Pat Driscoll, and told him the situation and basically asked if it was okay if we used that unused tennis court for our own for skateboarding for our own purposes. We had a meeting with Pat Driscoll after a few incidences with the police, and just talking with them, they recommended we talk to him. So what we did was we arranged a meeting through emails and telephone calls, me and a few other skateboarders. He was really positive about the whole situation, and he pretty much was, behind us on what we wanted to do there. I guess there's negative connotations and stereotypes behind skateboarding that exist, that maybe people were just afraid that kids hanging out, loitering, are just causing trouble. They didn't really understand that they were skateboarding and having a good time and doing positive things. Everybody today is complaining about how kids these days aren't getting good exercise, and the one group of kids that is getting good exercise is getting hassled. This was a tennis court that wasn't being used at all. It's what some people might think is a sketchy area. And then what you have now is an area the size of a tennis court, which at one time could be used by maximum 4 people, is now getting close to 50 kids there a day, every day, all day, constantly being used.
I also got the chance to catch up with a local skate veteran. He's got his own ramp in his garage, and he's played a big role down at Ormond Spencer Park. His name is David Hunter.
Look, there's 50, 60 kids being penalized for buying skateboards, which should be basically illegal. Since you can't use them, they shouldn't be legal in the city. It's no different than a bong, paraphernalia. You can buy them, but you can't use them for their intended purpose. Nobody's telling you this, though, when you buy them. So now where do the kids go? The city, it's sad but true, but the kids took over and solved the problem. Here, we'll go here to an abandoned tennis court. Can we use it? Yeah. The park was actually being given up for dead by the city to build a new hospital there that was blocked by the Ormond Spencer group. That starts, you can understand it if you understand Ormond Spencer in a city like this. More kids come to the Ormond Spencer from Oneida and Rochester now, but nobody in Syracuse knows this. They don't go down there and look at it. Skateboarders aren't looked at like a football team. There's no money to be made in it, really. So the parents aren't going to watch them practice. They're not going to get into college for it, so we're not going to let them do it. But the Ormond Spencer, those kids, they need it in that neighborhood. Syracuse needs a skate park.
Hunter prides himself on his ramp-making ability, and he told me about what went into this ramp.
This was built over a few years. The original half-pipe section of it was built immediately out of the resources that I had left over from either jobs or garbage picked, and like the decking. Those are the bleachers from a high school gymnasium that were taken apart 10 years ago. You got politicians out there trying to keep the kids off the street, generate revenues, and all of a sudden a couple of punk rock skaters come along and say, hey, we'll do it for free. You tell us what the liability is, and the city was gracious enough to do that. But now, how do they go and get together as a skate community and get something built? Nobody's fighting. They just want to skate. So why don't you want people in the parks here? You're telling me the police can't police people if they're in the parks? We can only police parks when they're empty, and the one guy that's walking through, we can stop and ask him what he's doing there? Because there's nothing to do here? You see the police drive by the Spence all the time. Ormond Spencer was a cop. You think he would want the kids down there? Of course he would. I hope it's around at this time next year. With the Eastwood Skate Park being built, I hope that they don't take it away.